Denver's favorite recreation spot in the fall of 1867, the Silver Queen Saloon. Famous for its refreshments, good fellowship, and famous, too, as a spot where anyone in search of trouble could easily find it. The back stairway leading to the offices of the Silver Queen Saloon had been the idea of the owner, Eddie Royce. Made things very convenient sometimes.
All right, talk. I'm in for half. What? Third ain't enough. I want half.
We already made our deal.
Half, Eddie. Or should I go and see Smith?
You wouldn't have the nerve.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I don't like threats, Jerson. No deal.
It's your funeral.
Not my funeral, Jerson.
George Romack and I had made a brief investigation of the murder scene. And then I went to headquarters to report to Chief Richards.
All I had to go on was the hunch, Chief. Didn't have enough evidence to make an arrest.
Think Royce had a hand in it?
Eddie Royce owned a half interest in the Silver Queen mine. Now that Jerson's dead, he owns all of it. That reminds me. I'd like to take a look around that mine. You think you can get me a warrant to get in?
I think so.
Just stop and think how many Silver Queens we have here in Denver. Like Royce's mine and his saloon.
And Jake Harris's widow, Baby Doll.
And Marilyn Manning. They call her the Silver Queen, too.
Who's she?
Chief, I'm surprised at you. Eddie Royce's girlfriend. The blonde hostess in his saloon.
Never noticed her.
Hope I never get that devoted to duty.
Where you going?
I've got a feeling that what I want to know, I'll find out from one of the Silver Queens. Guess we'll start where the prettiest one works.
Now girls are sweet as pie, and men are like the fly. When sweetness meets their eye, they can't help buzzing by, by. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Somebody else I'd rather see. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Somebody else I'd rather see.
Hey, Olie. Hey, Olie. Oh, snap out of it, Swede.
What? Hello, Jim.
Is it true what I heard about her and you?
Well, what you hear?
Well, a fella told me that Marilyn told him you were the only man in town that she liked.
You hear that?
Fact, ain't it, Bill?
I heard the fella tell the fella that told Jim right here.
Olie, if you don't beat all, you really think that she'd ever look at you?
Well, there it is, baby. What do you think?
Oh, Eddie, it's beautiful. When you said you had a surprise, I was sort of thinking it was an engagement ring.
Now, when it's time for a ring, I'll get you one like you never saw before. This is for nothing.
Of course, Eddie.
Here.
I've never really had anything so lovely.
Now, would you excuse me? I've got some work to do. You just keep dazzling the suckers.
Miss Manning,
Oh, hello.
I not want you to think I'm nosy, but, well, you shouldn't be like that with Mr. Royce.
Like what?
Well, you know, you let him kiss you, and he's always giving you presents.
Eddie and I are going to be married only.
You can't marry a murderer, Miss Manning. I think he's the man who killed Mr. Yerson. I heard them outside arguing in the alley. I not go to the police because, well, I know how you feel about Mr. Royce.
Ollie, you've got to stop interfering between Eddie and me. I won't have it. Now, I know how you feel about me, but I won't stand for you trying to break us up.
Well, all right, because you tell me.
It's good. I know you wouldn't do anything to hurt me. Ollie?
Yeah.
Now, you better get back to work before Scotty sees you.
Yeah.
How are you, Ollie?
Hello, Mr. Smith.
Came back for another try, Ollie. Your memory any better about what happened the night of the murder?
I see nothing.
Not even Mr. Jerson? Was he in here the night he was killed?
I tell you, I see nothing. I was busy with my work.
You're in love with Miss Manning, aren't you, Ollie? Of course you are. She's in love with Eddie Royce. And that's why your memory's so bad. Because you don't want to do anything to hurt Miss Manning.
I will do nothing to hurt her.
That's exactly what you are doing, Oldie, by covering up for Royce. You just remember this. If anything happens to her from now on, it's your fault, not hers. Yours.
Wait. You are right. Yeah. Of course you are right. Mr. Yerson was in here the night he died.
Did you see him leave?
No, but I hear him.
You heard him?
Out and back in the alley, they was arguing.
Who with?
Mr. Royce.
Did you see Royce with him?
No.
But you recognized his voice?
No, but I did Mr. Yerson. The other man who was talking had a nasty voice, just like Mr. Royce.
Could you go before a jury under oath and swear that it was Mr. Royce?
No.
That's what I was afraid of.
Mr. Smith, about what you say before, I'm not very smart, but I'm not a fool either. I know I could never have Miss Manning, even if there was no Mr. Royce.
I don't know, Ollie. You're not married yet. Women have been known to change their mind.
Well, I hope you're right. I don't know much about women, but, well, I know lots about men. I know Mr. Royce killed Mr. Yerson, but I just can't prove it.
Looks like we're in the same boat, Ollie. There's one thing you can do to help.
What's that, Mr. Smith?
You just keep your eyes open.
Well, you betcha.
Eddie, Tom Smith's out there.
Why the devil don't you knock?
Well, sorry, Eddie. What happened?
Made me spill acid on my hand. Now, what were you bellowing about?
Tom Smith's snooping around. He's asking questions.
He's coming up here. Well, let him. Get out of here, Jess. Come in.
I'd like to have a word with you, Royce.
Huh? What's on your mind?
I didn't know you went in for mineralogy.
I didn't, till I bought into the mine. What do you want, Smith?
What do you know about Jerson's murder?
I already told Captain Richards.
Then you won't mind telling me, will you?
Oh, he was in here that night. We had a talk. He always carried a lot of money with him. When he left, somebody must have followed him and tried to take his roll. And that's all I know.
That's all?
Well, I've got nothing to hide.
But a lot to gain.
Look, you're jumping the gun, Smith. Sure, he was my partner. Now the Silver Queen's all mine. But Jerson was the engineer. He located the vein and traced it out. Unless I can find a man as good as Jerson was to take over where he left off, I'm in trouble. His murder was the worst thing that could happen to me.
Well, that depends, doesn't it?
On what?
Whether or not there's really any silver in that mine.
All right, Smith. You tell me what kind of a confidence game I'm working. I'm not selling stock. I'm not taking in partners. The Silver Queen is mine, and I'm sitting on it. Tell me who I'm trying to take.
I don't know. Yet.
Well, is this fake? They never took better ore than this out of the Comstock.
I've seen the ore. It's high-grade stuff, all right. I often wonder where it came from. You don't mind if I ask a few questions downstairs, do you?
I do mind.
That's too bad. I asked my questions, and then I'd talk to Royce again before returning to headquarters. But a lot of good it did me. That's it, Jim. Thanks.
Hey, Smitty. Guess where I was this afternoon?
Down at the morgue. Watched them do an autopsy on Jerson's body.
Yeah, and I wanted to... Well, how'd you know that?
Saw your horse standing outside, so I figured you were either working on the case or dead, and here you are.
Well, now, get this. Jerson wasn't stabbed with no cowhand skinning knife.
That's right. It was a sword cane.
Well, how did you know that?
Dr. Sloan examined the body in the alley. He said the blade went clear through it. Take a pretty long skinning knife, wouldn't it?
Well, now, Smitty, if you had all that figured out, why didn't you tell me? You know them autopsies ain't exactly fun. I couldn't eat any of Edie's supper tonight.
Sorry, George. I guess I didn't figure it was very important.
Important? You know, all we gotta do now is find out if Royce owns a sword cane.
Oh, he owns one, all right.
Yeah? Hey, where'd you get it?
Royce's office.
You know you took it?
Yeah. In fact, he was almost too obliging. After all, he's not the only man in town who owns one of these.
Yeah, not to mention all the fancy gents traveling through town with him. What's that smell?
Acid. Probably the type that doesn't eat into metal, but washes off bloodstains. Pretty smart. No, George, I don't think the weapon's going to help us much in this case. We've got to find a motive.
A motive? We got a motive. The Silver Queen's worth a fortune.
Yeah, according to Eddie Royce. He says his assay's as rich as the Comstock.
So where do we go from here?
We're going out to the Silver Queen the first thing in the morning. With a geologist and a search warrant. She finally came through.
See you here first thing.
George, on your way in, stop by the assay office and pick up the report on that Silver Queen ore, will you?
Sure. Right now, I'm gonna take another whack at Edie's supper.
Good luck. Morning, George. Morning, Smitty. You get those figures from the assay office?
Sure did. We ought to take stock in that Silver Queen. That ore's as rich as Eddie Royce said it was.
Yeah. As rich as the Comstock.
Yeah.
Right down to the last decimal point.
Huh?
Come on, let's pick up that geologist. We could hardly wait to get a look at Eddie Royce's fabulous mine. But when we reached it, we found they'd just taken in the welcome mat.
Hey there. Get away from that gate. Ain't nobody allowed in here.
We got a warrant, boys.
I don't know nothing about that. Eddie Royce pays me to keep people out of here. Quit messing with that wire, mister.
With the law, boys, just stand back and make it easy on yourself.
I told you to get.
That's enough, George. Man's asleep. It's all right, Mr. Grjngo, we can go in now. Yeah, it's all the same. Wrong formation. Everything wrong. Well, if there's any silver in this mine at all, somebody dropped $50 in here and lost it. And it's worthless. Well, if I owned it, I'd pay you to take it off my hands. Now that I knew the Silver Queen mine was absolutely worthless, I felt I had the answer to Jerson's murder. But the chief was far from impressed.
Well, it isn't against the law to own a worthless mine.
But murder is. Just as sure as I'm standing here, Ross either killed Jerson or had him killed.
All right. All right, you show me the proof, we'll bring him in.
I haven't got any.
Of course you don't. Not even Eddie Royce would murder a man to get hold of a worthless mine.
Even though that mine is worthless, it could still be very valuable to Royce.
Am I supposed to make some kind of sense out of that? What I'm looking for right now is a murderer, not a confidence man.
How about 2 for the price of 1?
Get out of here.
Darling.
Ah, look at you. The prettiest girl in the West.
Oh, you're a liar, and I love you for it. Fix your drink?
Thanks. And it's everything your silver dollar was. May not be another Comstock, but...
But combined with a silver dollar, it'll throw a scare into Virginia City.
How you ever got that head for business and still stayed the woman you are, I'll never know.
When your husband leaves you $15 million worth of silver reserves, you either get a head for business or you lose the money. And I like money, Eddie. Oh, I love you. But if you didn't have the Silver Queen, I wouldn't have a thing to do with you. First things first.
Now, you don't really mean that.
Don't fool yourself. Now get out of here. We don't want anyone to guess.
That night, I went to see Audie at the saloon. Eddie Royce and Marilyn Manning were there. A perfect picture of romance and flower. They didn't see me as I walked to the bar.
Hello, Mr. Smith.
Audie?
I keep my eyes open like you say.
Good. What did you see?
Mr. Royce, he went to see Mrs. Harris tonight.
Baby doll Harris?
He was inside a long time.
That's interesting.
Hello, Mr. Romack.
Hi, Audie.
When Mr. Royce left, he kissed Mrs. Harris. Why would he do that if he plans to marry Miss Manning?
What do you make of that, George?
Well, I don't know. Depends on the way he kissed her.
Just like he kissed Miss Manning.
That's bad.
I guess I better pay Miss Harris a little visit.
He's a real bad man. I just don't understand what they see in him.
Women see all kinds of things in a man, Audie. Now, you take Edie Romack, for example. She could have had a handsome, intelligent fellow. Look who she picked.
It's the charm that does it, Smitty. That old Romack charm.
Do you know a man by the name of Albert Grjngo?
The government mineralogist? Of course I do. Good man. What about him?
I took him out to Royce's Silver Queen mine today.
Oh?
He said it was a good place to grow mushrooms.
He said what?
There's no silver in the Silver Queen mine, Mrs. Harris.
That's impossible. I saw the ore myself. I read the assayer's report.
So did I. It was impressive. Too impressive.
What do you mean, too impressive?
Royce's ore assayed out as rich as the Comstock. Exactly as rich. I checked the government files. The silver content, the copper, lead, everything just exactly. Now, you're in the mining business. You tell me how often that happens.
It means just one thing.
That Royce's ore came from the Comstock.
Smith, I've been taken.
I'm a good listener.
You want to talk to me?
What man wouldn't?
Why don't you leave him alone?
Who?
Eddie. That's who you came to talk about, isn't it?
Not at all. Let's talk about Baby Doll Harris.
Why?
Didn't you know? She's getting married.
Oh, that's nice. Who's the new millionaire?
Eddie Royce.
You're a liar. Eddie loves me.
Look, Miss Manning, you may be one of the most beautiful women in Denver. But Baby Doll Harris isn't exactly bad looking either. And all that money she's got makes her look better. All that money.
Closing up, folks.
I just thought you'd like to know.
You coming, Miss Manning?
No. No, you go ahead and lock up. Ole can let me out.
Good night, boys.
Unless I miss my guest, George, there'll be a little excitement around here very shortly. Good. Say, why don't you...
I know. Watch the back.
I tell you, Hank and Bernie are both gone. The mine's wide open.
Well, where are they?
I don't know, Eddie.
If anybody got in there... My connections with Mrs. Harris are strictly business.
I know all about that kind of business.
I don't have time to talk now.
Right now. Are you going to marry her?
There's no sense of pussyfooting, Eddie. Somebody got into that mine. You're going to have to move fast.
Shut up. Go on, get out of here.
Oh, it's true. You can't do it, Eddie. You can't do it, Eddie. Get your hands off me.
Shut up. I kill you for that. What'll we do with them?
Get rid of him.
Eddie, why?
You stay out of this. Go on, bring the buckboard around to the back steps. Go on, get going.
Hold her right there.
What's going to happen to me?
I promise everything will be all right. Ole will take care of you. Ole will always take care of you.
What had happened to Marilyn Manning made no difference at all to Ole Brenderson. He'd be with her from now on. And you could bet he'd never leave his beautiful Silver Queen.